Hello and welcome to this tutorial series. And in this series, we're going to be taking a look at how to script. And for this video, we're going to be taking a look at the very basics, and that is printing. But before you can print something, you're going to have to go into your view up at the top here and open up your output so you can get an output, or else there will be nothing that happens. I'm going to leave my output about this size. So, now they have your output open, how do you get a script in? Well, in order to get a script, you're going to have to go here and use a script right here. Since I use scripts all the time, it should be under my frequently used, but for you, you might have to search up script. And there you go, you have a script, and the first thing I should see is print hello world. This is pretty much print what it does. So, if we were to hit play, you'll see in right here, it'll say hello world. Right, but this is like the very basics of printing. Let's go delete this, and we're gonna make something a bit different. So what we could do is we can go print. You have to put these quotation marks. I don't know what they're actually called. I think they're called quotation marks. Yell at me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. And just put those things, and what we're gonna do is you just type whatever you want to see inside of your output. So pretty much whatever is typed inside of these two things is what gets printed. For example, hey, this is cool. Whoops. There we go. This is cool. And then what we can do, whoops, do not press enter. And then we can do is hit F5 to play the game, and then it'll print, hey, this is cool. Right? But this is not all that the print can do. It can also do much more. For example, it could do basic math. So like 1 plus 1, it'll print what 1 plus 1 is equal to. And just like this, it will print 2 because that's what it equals. But if we were to do quotation marks, then it'll physically print 1 plus 1. It won't give us what the answer is. That's pretty much what the quotation marks are for. So pretty much, if you do this, it'll print whatever's in here. It won't like print the answer to something. So for example, we could do like really complex math, like 23 plus whatever this is, which isn't that complex, but it'll give us the answer. It'll give us what this is equal to, which seems to be right. Yeah, it's right. Okay, but what if you want to do like some other math? Like what if you want to do subtraction? Well, to do subtraction, what you have to do is you just go like 12 minus 2, and then it'll give us 10. You just put a minus sign. But then, what is the division sign? So, in order to division, what we're going to do is type in print, and then first let's go multiplication. Let's go 3, and then for multiplication you put in a star and 3. That'll give us 9. So then, as you can see, we have 10 and then 9 at the bottom. It'll print it in the order that the code is laid out in. So if you want this to go before the other one, let me control that. If you want this to go on the top, what we can do is we can put print like this, and then we can hit F5, and as you can see, 9 goes above 10. Pretty much what the script will do is it will do everything in chronological order. I think I used that word right. Anyways, we can delete all this, and now how to divide, we go print. We're going to print 5, and then we use a slash. Not a backslash, just a slash. So 5 divided by, let's go 2. It'll give us the answer, right? 2.5. Basic. That's pretty much like basic math. But that's not all the print can do, because the print is also much more powerful than this. It could also do this. Print. So for example, if we want to print what workspace is named to, which is workspace, do not change that name. So pretty much print game.workspace.name. And then it'll print the name of workspace, which is workspace. Or if we were to bring a part in, we could like call this part something like Bob or OB, and then we could do game.workspace.ob.name. Then I'll print what that is called, and since the name is OB, it will just say OB. But let's say that you might have this name constantly be changing. What we could do is we can put a script inside of here that will print the name of what this is. So we just go print script.parent.name, because pretty much what this means is that the parent of the script is this, and the child of this is script. So pretty much it's sort of like parent. So pretty much because this script is inside of this. See, okay, if this script was inside a base plate, then this would be the script's parent, but because it's inside of this is the script's parent. But if we were to put but for this would be the script's child. It's complicated, but let's just hit play and see what happens. As you can see, it'll print OB because that's the name. But if we were to put this inside between that, then what will happen is it will physically print script.parent.name, which, unless you want to print that for some reason, then that's what will happen. But anyways, we can delete this script. Whoops, let's delete that. There we go. And I'm also going to delete this part. But what if you want to, we could also do much more complicated stuff. For example, we could go print 34 plus 12 divided by 5 or 4 times 34, and that will give us our answer. So we could do really complicated stuff with this, right? Okay, but what if we want to print a bunch of answers in the same thing? What we could do is print 24 plus 30, comma, and then we go to the next line, right? We want to put a comma because that means that that's like the end. And then let's go, and then we could do 34 minus 3, comma, 23 times 8, comma, 23 divided by 4. Hit play, and it'll give us all the answers in the same line of code. So if you want them to be in the same line, it will only give us completely separate answers because it comes from the same print. But if we were to create a whole different print for each one of these, then it will. So let's create a whole, let's give each one its own print. So for example, you could go print. So for example, if we were to give each one its own print, then instead of being on the same line like this, each one will be on a separate line. So if we were to do this, let's stop the code. Yes, I'd like to save the changes. Let's hit play. And then as you can see, they're all on separate lines because they're not linked to the same print. Very, very basic stuff, and we'll rewatch this video a few times if you're having a bit struggle, if you're struggling a bit. But let's go to something more complicated, like printing the player's ID. So for some reason, if you want print, we could do is we can go print game.players.local. Well, actually, we can't really. Let's not do that. We can't do that actually. We could do is we'll have to do a bit more complicated stuff in order to do that. But what we can do is we can print. Well, actually, we can't really print what that doesn't make sense. We cannot have print inside there. But what we could do is we could also, if you're putting numbers in here, then you don't actually have to put quotation marks in. That's just a quick thing for you guys to know because numbers are integers. You could put any integer in here and it should work. Yeah. If you're typing in something like Q, then nil, because it says nil because this is equal to nothing. But if you were to type nil in here, it should still equal nil because nil is something, right? Because this is actually a code variable, or it's something that the code can recognize. So for example, true, it'll physically print true because that's an actual thing, because it's an actual piece of code. But if we were to print workspace, I don't think that will work. Or it will work because it's something that the code recognizes. For example, we could go print debug, and because that's something that the code has, or it'll just debug. Whoops, let's do something like print false. It will actually print false. So you guys get the point. That's pretty much what the print does. There's more complicated stuff this can do, but that'll be for later videos where we get into functions, because the next video, because in the next video we're going to be teaching about variables. So that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.